Okay, about 4 years ago, Tim from EnviroPerfect Solutions had approached the city about this product that was environmentally friendly, that instead of treating the top of the grass and making it look green, that we would treat the soil, and that we would get the soil to a condition where the roots would go down deep, and that it would keep the grass green, it could sustain droughts. It would be thicker, softer, lusher. It would help choke out the weeds. And so when he approached us on that, it got my mind rolling to say, hey, City Hall Park would be the ideal location. It's in the middle of our city. We could test and see if it really did make a difference down here. We were able to segregate a site to have a test site and then a control site. We agreed to do a 3-year trial, and I have to say on my part there was a little bit of skepticism on how well the product would work, and I am literally amazed by the results that I've got. The hard part is the patience to wait the 3 years to really see the full effect of the program. By the second application, I did notice a difference, began to notice a bit of difference in the lawn, and it was previous to that, it would look dry a lot. It was hard. It wasn't really nice to walk on. And so when they took profiles at the very beginning, we could barely get the profiler into the soil. And as we carried on through that year, and by the end of that season, I could see the changes just because I paid attention to the lawn, and I kind of was making mental notes of what we were doing on it. In the third year of the trial, we've took more profiles of the soil depth and the root depth of the grass, and it's been, it's more than doubled from the beginning, and probably even further with some of the samples that we've taken. We've been able to shove that profiler way down into the soil, and it's just by using the product, by going to the granular and the liquid applications 3 times a year that we've done this, and that it's just amazing the difference. If you look now out in the park, it is lush and green, and if you look elsewhere in the city where we're not using this product, or we haven't used this product, the grass is definitely a different color than it is down here in the park. It is definitely lush green. It is soft. It is so noticeably different than other areas. You can't help but notice it. We had a pathway that kids would walk, spring, summer, fall, through the winter, and we had replaced it with sod probably 5 years prior to that, to our starting the trial. You could always see it when you look down on the park, from a higher elevation. You could see this pathway, and like we would fertilize once a month with synthetic fertilizers, and it never did blend the grass. And so once by the end of the 3rd year, or even at the 2nd year, it disappeared, and in pictures you can't tell where that pathway was anymore as you could in previous. It was very, very noticeable. And now with this 3rd year, the lawn is unbelievable. It is so thick and soft, and watching people in the park, they're taking their shoes off, they're sitting directly on the grass, they're running their hands through it. It is soft to sit on, it's not prickly. There's more and more people that are sitting on the grass than they are sitting on the benches now at lunchtime, and they're more willing to sit on the grass, as prior to that it was like sitting on a bristled brush. And so just those changes, I get people constantly asking me, and this goes probably 2-3 times a week, what are you doing to the grass down there? These are the comments I'm getting. What are you doing? Because I want what you have, and because they're noticing it. Just driving by in their vehicles, they notice that the grass is way different, and it was just because of our practices. There has been a noticeable difference in less usage of my irrigation system. I've hardly ran it in the last probably 3 years as much as I did in the previous years to keep the grass green. Now, you know, weather has been a big dependent on that. Like, I mean, we've had timely with rains, but we still have had to water previously in between those rains. We quit the use of using herbicides in the park for our control of dandelions and clover, and have tried to do it as natural as possible. Now, with the lawn being thicker, the dandelions have become more manageable just manually. I have weeders that I have bought this year, and we've actually went through the park. Took us maybe a couple days just to go through to remove all the dandelions, and we haven't used it since. I haven't had to rototill any of the flower beds in the last 3 years. We've been able just to rake them out in the spring. Previous to that, they would be rock hard, and you'd have to rototill basically the snot out of them to get them fluffy. And now we can just take a landscape rake and it knocks the lumps out, and we can plant directly into it. Now I can look at these other areas and have a look at the turf, and you know, even take a profile of it, and to understand what's happening, thickness of thatch, you know, color, weeds, clover, those sorts of things. I have these tools in my toolbox. I learned a lot of stuff about turf that I didn't know before going into this program, and now 3 years later, it's been amazing what I didn't know before, and it's been a great learning on my part on what to do and what to look for when we're looking at these kinds of solutions. I would highly recommend going to a program like this. Just in the results that we have seen here, it's amazed me. I have to say that I am shocked with the results after the 3 years. You know, you always are skeptical about, you know, new products and environmentally friendly products or all natural products, and how successful they are. And the key to this one is having the patience to wait.